Hello, everybody. April 15th. I know you can't really see my face. That's a little gray there. That's not anything in my beard. Um, what I'm doing is focusing on some numbers and a segment I wanted to call Finding Value. This is a prime example of explaining exactly what we do, how we do it, and how we profit off of finding value. Now, finding value is kind of like investing in a stock before the stock blows up. So let's say Tesla or Amazon or any major stock that you find it early. The stock initially IPOs, initially public offering, let's say is around something crazy like $28 a stock. And then now you know the value of each stock. I'm not going to quote any stocks, but let's say that $28 stock goes up to $1,200 now. So that's value. You caught it at the right time. You caught the value of it. So what I'm going to show you real quick, or quick as possible, is how we find value on a day to day, what we spend our time doing, what we're looking at. And again, this is only going to be a brief crash course because the information again will be found patreon.com/action23. Patreon.com/action23. Patreon is spelled Patreon for those that are not familiar with it. Now, in order to profit from this whole industry, you have to have an account. That's why we are sponsored by and we are marketing the company Action23.ag. That's Action23.ag. And you've heard us mention that before. What you do here is actually set up an account so that you can trade and take advantage of what we're explaining today, like finding value in the sports industry. So Action23.ag, you will need a login and password. You will also have to make a deposit. That's your trading money. You can log in with that login information, your password, and see your money on a day-to-day basis. You can do this on your own if you know what you're doing, or if you want to have fun. We have people, investors that just trust our experts and follow us on a day-to-day basis. If we make money, they make money. If we lose, they lose. And so far, as everybody know, I think we started this about 4 weeks. We've had 4 positive weeks so far. Can't guarantee that that's going to go on. You have to know this industry. But then again, we're off to a great start. Now there's football, there's hockey, there's boxing, there's golf. We just finished the Masters. Um, you find your industry, your niche. Right now we're in the midst of baseball and the NBA. The NBA is going to start fighting for playoff positions and things like that. Things are going to start getting serious. The parity you can distinguish now if you've been watching it over the beginning of the season. Baseball is just now starting off, so we've kind of slowed down on the baseball, just letting everything heat up and see how it's going. So this today right here, if you've been looking at my little ugly board, by the way, I need someone to work with me on some production, man. I'm doing this all by myself. I don't know much about it, but I have certain little sponsors. I gotta flash this little hoodie today. This, I know you can't really read it, but it's Over Yonder Brewing Company. You guys know I like the brewing companies here in Colorado. Instead of drinking the same average beer that we get in Colorado, they're pretty famous for the micro brews and things like that. So whenever we're filming or just out and about, I do a lot of softball games, things like that. We'll swing by after the game, something like that, have a beer. So thank you again, Over Yonder Brewing Company. I had Periodic Brewing on yesterday, and then I rocked the Denver Brewing Company beanie as well. Great places if you're ever in Colorado. Again, so let's go to the example of finding value. By the way, this example is one of our one of my partners and members, VG. I call him VG. I don't ever just blast his full name, but he know who he is. He made an initial post. We had a conversation. I'll post that little conversation. But this is the type of situation where we really make our money. If you guys trade stock, if you trade forex, if you trade Bitcoin, crypto, things like that, you really have to watch the market. You know what I'm talking about. You have to sit there and find the opportunities that present themselves and make that trade at that moment. That's exactly what we found right here, or Vaughn found in this situation. What we're going to explain real quickly, if you don't know the industry, I'm going to try to sum this up, but Patreon is where you learn. We found a game where you have the Dodgers versus the Washington Nationals. If you understand baseball and you follow it, Dodgers World Series champions. On the average day, you take the Dodgers. If you didn't know anything about pitching and hitting and batting averages, you'd say, "Oh, the Dodgers over the Washington Nationals." I think I would, if I had to invest, I'd go with the Dodgers. So for Vegas or any other these industries, Action 23, you have Bet Rivers, DraftKings, You Wager, Monarch, and FanDuel. We're just using these as examples. What these are different markets. So when you make if you were to invest in our particular services, we would want to set you up in all of these markets simply because that gives you an opportunity to find value. Value is the best dollar for your dollar. So here, back to baseball, Dodgers are known to be the favorites. If you were to just say, hey, even money, $100 to win $100, who do you want, Nationals or the Dodgers? Everyone probably would take the Dodgers just on the fact of the value dollar for dollar. On that note, if you look, I think I didn't put it there, but a typical value or bet set by the industry is normally 110 to win 100. That means you have to put up 110 units or dollars, depending on what you're doing, to get 100 in return. So your payout, if you are correct about your investment, would be 210. You get 210 back. So this situation, we know Dodgers are the favorites. What we the industry or the market asked, and to make it fair for them, is that you put up $166 in order to get 100 if you take the Dodgers. That's simply because the Dodgers are the favorites. On the reverse end of that, if you find some value in Washington, which is really what you're searching for, because that's where your money is, that same $100 would typically get, but it fluctuates just like any stock. 166. So $100 on the Washington Nationals will get you 166 in return. Payout would be 266. You know what I mean? 266. That's ugly. Point is, you have a choice. You can take Washington or you can take Dodgers. 100 gets you 166. 166 is required to get 100 with the Dodgers, the favorite. So, on a day-to-day basis, we go through these industries and find out if it's 166, the normal market. But Bet Rivers will give me the opportunity, if we wanted the Dodgers, let's say, or the favorite, 162. DraftKings would offer it at 160. You Wager 163. Monarch 160. If you get the idea, I'm gonna leave the last one alone until in a minute. I know it's hard for you guys to see. So, finding true value, and I'll show you the text messages and conversations that we have throughout the day. We caught them slipping. What I mean by that is, all of these books had the Dodgers favorite, and you had to put up more money to get less money, $100. In the market where you know that the Dodgers are probably going to win, and you have to find your own method, but we have our own system. But some people do not take certain amount. They will not put up $160 to get 100. Some people only bet positive or plus money. There's different strategies. You have to find out what works for you. We know what we have works for different tiers and different type of investors. There's some are more aggressive, some more conservative. But this particular day, it was Sunday. We're watching the lines, and the lines are moving 162, 160, 163. And my man hits me up, VG, and says, "Did you see that on FanDuel?" He was like, "Wow, they're giving the Dodgers plus 190. So we could put up 100 here and get 190. We could put up 1,000 and get 1,900. We could put up 10,000 and get 19,000 back real quick off of." That's where we get aggressive, because it had to be a mistake. And then during the conversation, my man said it was probably only up for 20 seconds. Believe it or not, you find mistakes like that. You're looking for those type of opportunities on a day-to-day basis. So some people sit around. Again, I don't knock other hustles and markets. Some people watch Forex. Some people watch the stock market. Some people watch commodities, Bitcoin, crypto. Um, this to me is our thing. This is what we've been doing for 20 years. Um, and we've grown to make it a business now. So for those our 21 members, um, I'm gonna be honest, probably 80% of them have no idea on a day-to-day basis what type of work we're doing. They've trusted in our system, they've trusted in us, they've invested in us, and we've been transparent. We've showed them wins, losses. They can see it themselves. You log in, like I said, action23.ag. You'll have a login, you'll have a password. You go on and see the moves that we've discussed, the things that we tell you. And you'll notice sometimes we don't move for days because this is your money. If we don't find the right opportunities, we're not moving. That doesn't mean that I'm not moving or making moves. I'm a little more aggressive with my portfolio. So I'm making 20, 30 transactions a day, but this is including things what we call prop bets, live betting. The game goes one way and it changes throughout the game. We have an opportunity to not only break even and get our money back if it's not looking favorable, but still profit in that same situation that we were possibly going to lose. That takes a lot of concentration. That takes a lot of attention. That takes watching, 4, 6 TVs and games at a time so you can make those adjustments when needed. So here, situation here, we caught Dodgers. My man VG has to say, but he's part of our crew. You had to put up 166 to win 100. He caught it at putting up 100 to get 190. Lot of value there. Now, one thing I want to hit on, we are doing our comparisons at all of these books just like this. This is what we're doing throughout the day. When the NBA is over at night, DraftKings is great about having the next day lines available. That's called early marketing and early value, because if you've watched the game and you know certain players were injured, certain plays had a lot of minutes, a lot of things that go on if you didn't catch it instead of just watching ESPN and watching the scores. Sometimes you have to actually watch these games. So on this particular day, Dodgers won 3-0. Money made, easy money. As a matter of fact, there's a situation that my man we joked about, because once you put your money in and the game starts, the line starts to fluctuate. It's called live betting. You can cash out immediately, but you'll see, just like the stock market, it'll go in your favor and you can immediately cash out. So once they caught their mistake, he was in a situation where he could have cashed out at, I think the profit would have been like 6.55 on the dollar. But I'll show you the text, I'll show you the messages, and that's what we do. That's only a small fragment. I know it took me 15 minutes. Again, this information, patreon.com/action23. I'll give you course by course studies of how we do this, how we break this down. I'll show you more information. I threw a gem out there. Nobody really picked it up. When we hit the $11,000 week, and my man VG were talking and joking. I was like, hey man, I'm using Ken Palm. And I put it on there. I was like, I'm gonna give you guys a gym, kenpalm.com. You can look it up now, but basketball is college basketball information, general information, but you put together your own formula, and it worked for us with the systems that we're using. We had a great March Madness. I actually won the tournament. Thank you, Vaughn, again, and crew for inviting me. I think it was 1 out of 20, something like that, but it was fun. So using certain formulas, doing your homework, having the time to do it. I coach. I coach my kids' football teams, always at the softball teams, but I have to constantly stay on top. So a lot of nights, this is what I'm doing. I'm up to 4 in the morning sometimes, crunching numbers, looking for opportunities. Like my man found plus 190 on the Dodgers. You probably won't see that again all season. Um, Honestly, that was a gem again. So thank you, Vaughn, for that one, for hitting me up with that one. Any questions? If you know me, hit me up. I always say the same thing. People know me. I get the what are you doing? I know I got some. Everybody, everything you do, you're gonna have some haters. If you're a hustler, you've always hustled. They fear when you do your thing and you turn it into legitimate business. But you know how I get down. Those that know me, I rock with y'all. Let's get this money. Wouldn't tell you to do anything I wouldn't do, and I'll do it. So Kenny the Colorado Gambler, get at me, hit me up, get my number. Let's get this money.